All right, y'all ready for the question?
Yes, sir.
How would you, and this is to the individuals, y'all, this is your world. How would you get a deadbeat dad? Hold on, wait, not a deadbeat dad. How would you get a deadbeat parent to want to be a parent to their children? A, punishment. B, incentivize them. C, fill in the blank.
You don't.
I, it's nothing I could do. That's something that's intrinsic. Either you want to be a parent or you're not. If I punish you, that's still not going to get you to do the things that you want to do. You're only doing it to avoid punishment. And if I incentivize it, you're not really being a parent because you're a dedicated individual and you want to help that individual. You just doing it for whatever benefit. So, nah, if you ain't all in and you ain't real about it, I don't want you to be a part of my kid life. Like, that's not going to work out. So, no, insert is I'm not going to do nothing.
Well, don't.
You're not going to incentivize you to be no.
It's not you. So, Miss Pro, it's not you incentivizing the parent to take care of your kid. It's you, the governor, you, the judge, jury, and executioner of your world. You see, there's a bunch of kids right here. They need their daddies. All these daddies over here saying they don't want to be dads. It's your world. Can you come up with a scenario or solution that would get these dads who are deadbeats to want to go over there and take care of their children?
I mean, now that you framed it that way, the most productive way, of course, we would rather use sugar than vinegar, right? Or honey. So you would have to incentivize them. That's the reverse psychological method as opposed to punishment. That's like what they're doing now. If you don't pay enough or you don't pay your child support, you go to jail. But that kid is still without their father and they're still not able to make the money to pay the child support. So only person that's getting paid in that system, in that situation will be the system. So that's a lose-lose. Kids still lose, father still lose, mother still lose. In this situation, you're going to have to think a little more further before the dad is even a deadbeat dad and start thinking about preventive methods.
No preventive. No preventive. They already.
No, they already here.
They already here.
I can't think of nothing else right now. I have to incentivize.
All right, what would you incentivize?
I got one, and I have brought this up many because I'm in an organization. My child say, "Daddy." One of the things I found out do work, and it's not 100%, is force that dad to spend time with that child under supervision. And I'm talking about maybe having a building or something that you have all these dads and all these children in this building where there would be things to do and force them to spend time like you force them to pick up paper on the side of the freeway when they do something. So what I'm saying is, one thing I do know about people, when you are forced to spend time with even things that you don't like, that you get some kind of connection. Now, would that make a perfect parent? No, but it's a door opener.
Okay.
I will say this. Two things. I will either, if I'm going to have a government system, I will make them have the system 50-50. Like they both got to live in the same house. Whoever she get kids by, I don't care if she got 3 to 4 different baby daddies. They all got to live in the same house. They all gonna get the same income. They all gonna get the same everything, the same rights. Ain't no big U's and big I's, right? Or my second option, I take all the government assistance away because that's gonna make the women think before who she just having kids with, and she gonna choose wisely when she know for a fact that the government is not gonna rescue her. So that's gonna force a woman to depend on the men that she give kids by. I think the government helps them to keep the kids away.
All right, Jay Purse, I got a follow-up question to that. All right. So are you, just so I can reiterate, are you suggesting that you will take government assistance away from the mom to get the dad who's a deadbeat to want to be a dad?
I think that I think the real deadbeats is the moms who delete their kids, abort their kids, baby delete. But I think that most men wants to be in their kids like they not deadbeat. Is just
we're not talking about guys that if a man wants to be a dad, then they wouldn't technically be a deadbeat because you wouldn't have to do anything to get them to be a dad. We're talking about the dad that is a deadbeat and don't care to want to be in them kids' lives. Your goal is to get that dad who's already a deadbeat to want to be in a kid's life. And I accept your solution when you said,
I would say I wouldn't try it. It should be something naturally within them.
so you would leave. So you would
I
leave.
wouldn't try to make somebody do something they want to do. It has to be naturally within them. And I think that a lot of times, if you could have systems, it creates a distance. And I understand that distance. Well, we call them deadbeats. I think that dads will like to operate and raise their kids from their timing and not from the mama timing or system timing. It should be something that of his own.
All right, so I got a follow-up question to that. All right, so in your world, your goal was to get deadbeat dads to become parents. You said there is nothing I can do. You
No.
looked at the situation. Hold on, wait. You looked at the situation and said, I'm not gonna do. You can't make somebody do what they don't want to do. You can't get them to do something that they don't want to do. So I'm gonna leave them to their own devices and just say, go ahead and be deadbeats. Would you say that you failed at your mission then?
No, because I think within any parent, it's in their nature to it's gonna double. It's gonna a lot of them gonna resort on their own timing. I don't think it's in nobody's nature to just 100% neglect their kids. Because a lot of times those men that are deadbeats, they are great stepfathers that these women cherish and praise.
Right. So your job is I mean, we can't argue their nature. All we know is that they don't want to be dads.
Well, why do they become stepdads? Those
No.
deadbeats
Impress the
become the
woman
best
that they're
stepdad.
I'm not talking about the stepdad. I'm talking about the guy that don't want to be a dad. Your goal is you see the kid without his dad. So yes, this is your world that you're in. You president of J Prince Land.
Right.
You got a plethora of deadbeat dads that don't want to be dads.
Uh-huh.
You got a plethora of kids that got deadbeat dads that don't want to be dads. You look over at the dads and say, all right, I need to get these dads to want to be dads. And you said, Joe, and I'm willing to accept your solution where you say you can't do anything about it. You just gonna let them go and be deadbeats because you can't make nobody want to be dads. You can't get them to want to be.
What?
Then if your mission was to get them to be dads, would you say that you failed at your mission?
Yes and no.
All right.
I would say yes and no because they still dads, but I would fail. Since I didn't get them to be dads, I failed.
Okay, fair enough. Anybody else want to answer that?
Yeah, I would choose answer C.
All right, give us your plan. What you got?
Conduct a study to figure out why exactly they're deadbeats and then eliminate all deficiencies that led to that answer.
All right, give me all right, so humor me real quick. All right, so you did the study. What did your study come up with?
50% of them economic deficiency, the other 50%
You just had sex, no vetting.
all right, let's say 25% that and then 25% childhood related. They dissociate from the whole idea of being a parent.
All right, let's start with the economically deficient. All right,
vocational rehabilitation.
You said what?
Vocational rehabilitation.
Simply a trade.
So send them to trade school.
Whatever it means to get them educated and able to be productive in a way that they're earning an income that can substantially take care and support the child.
What did they tell you? I already don't want to be a parent. I also don't want to go to trade school.
That's why I said whatever it takes to get them to be productive. It doesn't have to be a trade school. What do you want to do? Go to college? I mean, you got to be. You're now telling me you don't want to be a productive citizen in society. You want to live out in the woods because now what you're doing is you're changing the parameters of the deficiency that I've discovered. You're changing my answer.
I was willing.
You have to have some reason. You have to have some semblance or desire to want to sustain life, right, and earn an income. I would lean into that. They just don't make enough money to take care of the kid. So what they do is just rehabilitate their vocational ability so that they can now earn more, have more earning potential to take care of the kid. Simple.
So, all right, I got that's cool. I'm willing to accept that. All right, so to add on to that, would you charge them to do the vocational schools?
Oh, because whatever they're doing, their labor in and of itself is going to go back into the you know what I mean?
In society.
They're going to be a more effective employee in the workforce.
No, fair enough. I was just asking, like, if your solution was like, all right, well, if these dads don't want to be deadbeats, because these dads don't want to take care of their kids. So in order to get them to want to take care of their kids, the 50%, they financially deficient. All right, so we're gonna do vocational school or a trade school. So
yeah, whatever
when
it
you
takes
come
to
to
make them, yeah.
So when you come to them, you like, all right, I see here that you are financially deficient at taking care of your kids. All right, let's get you to drive trucks. You know, we're gonna teach you how to drive trucks.
That's fine.
What's your plan of action to get them to go to trucking school?
I mean, you got a career counselor for that. I'm not a career counselor.
Okay.
Like this
Sweeney, I'll give you one pretty simple.
All right, go ahead.
A or B, meaning you will get one or the other. If you refuse to be in a child's life, you pay child support. If you are in the child's life, you receive child support as a man. Simple as that. So you're incentivized. You have the support to actually obtain your goal.
Who you getting the child support from?
Government.
The government, the same. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Fair. Hey, I think a lot of dudes would be like, "Hey, look, I'd rather be with my kid and get paid than to not be with my kid and gotta pay."
Right. You know what I'm saying? That's a grave disparity. You either in a hole or you in a surplus. I think a lot of people would choose to be the father. If you look at Asia, they're taking similar measures already because of their declining birth rates. They are not as simple as month to month, but they're giving crazy tax benefits. They're giving free healthcare for like the first year, including childbirth, which is extremely expensive and everything. So when they want people to have children now and take care of their children, so what they're doing is they're already giving incentives. You have Singapore, South Korea, Japan, China, all of them they have terrible birth rates. So I think it would be the same thing. They're trying to persuade people to be parents, and you throw some money at it, you'd be surprised what people do.
Glad you just said that, Smooth. Sweeney, I'm going to need you to clarify an inconsistency in your question. When you first asked it, it was a deadbeat parent. Now it seems as though the vernacular has gone to deadbeat father.
Well, I get that we kind of default to father, but you don't have to keep it on the father. It could be whichever parent.
All right. So if that's it's a parent. It could be man or woman. All right, my answers would stay the same.
Okay.
I think I know you go say something, JR, but just
I'm trying, man.
I know you're trying to get out of here. I understand. I see some gray hair growing in your beard, bro. I understand that.
It is gray hair growing in his
beard. But anyway, sometimes we don't understand the power of bonding. We don't, and that's why I choose to do it the way I choose to do it, because in the end of the day, you want that person to want to be there. Not because it's some kind of financial gain. It's to have the bond and to want to groom and get close to that child, to instill some positive things in that child to make that child a productive citizen. And I learned that from being a cat. I had a neighbor who was going to Germany for a week, and I can't stand cats. And she said, "Would you feed my cat for me?" I was like, damn, I don't like cats. I don't like the way they smell, the way they stuff smell when they use the bathroom. She was saying, "Can you please, because I don't have anybody else." So about the first 2 days, I just went in there and did what I needed to do. About the third day, man, I started sitting around on the sofa and just checking out the cat and seeing what the cat was doing. You know what I mean? Right. And then, look. And then the fourth day, I started bringing a laser light, had the cat jumping all around the goddamn place. So we built a bond. So I know the habit of the cat. So I think that's that's what bonding is a very important of cleaning up this mess.
Do you think, Sweeney? Do you think
No,
that?
no, we got to go. We got to go, man.
What was this